Hi, I'm Minimarie, and this year I'm ranking the 64 Disney animated classics from IMDb listed by Count Beefer. It's important to note that these ratings won't include any direct-to-video pieces or Disney Pixar films. Now, this year's first film was picked by my husband at random.
Pick a number between 1 and 64. Alex.
You want me to pick a number between 1 and 64?
Yes.
38.
Okay.
Before I created mini envelopes with the movie titles in them, so as the year goes on, we can continue to randomly select them and keep things fun. And if you're wondering why I didn't decide to watch them in order, it's mainly because I don't want to develop a Disney era bias. Also, throughout this series, I will be sharing some of my favorite movie snacks, personal reactions to some of the more iconic scenes, and different ways I like to settle down in the evening. Now, for this particular movie, I decided to watch it while enjoying an Epsom salt bath, and I didn't feel comfortable being on camera while in the tub. So instead, let me describe what my ideal bath is like. First, I start by filling the tub with water, I light one of my favorite candles, and I grab a nice drink, which for me is a glass of milk. Then I settle into the water and I start my movie. And if you've never seen Fantasia 2000 before and you don't want any spoilers, now is the time for you to dip out. And if you really want to see where this movie ranks on my list today, you can check it out using the Google link below in the description, and that same link will allow you to keep track of its ranking all year round. Spoilers begin in 3, 2, 1. To kick things off, I want to pop in a little trivia question. The first Fantasia piece produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios wasn't originally titled Fantasia. Do you know what it was called? If you guessed the concert feature, then you are correct. We find out this cool tidbit of information at the beginning of the second concert piece introduced by Steve Martin. You may recognize him from works such as Pink Panther, Cheaper by the Dozen, or Only Murders in the Building, if not just by his name. Now, speaking of the second concert piece, Pines of Rome is one of my favorites solely because the water animation is just stunning. This segment really takes you to a whole new world and looks incredibly lifelike at times. For me, it's just amazing how much water animation has improved since The Little Mermaid, but also every time I see the whales jumping out of the clouds in this segment, I recall an encyclopedia that I bought when I was a kid at the Scholastic Book Fair, and it just happened to be on the seas and oceans. Lastly, I also really appreciate how the animators paid attention to the detail on each whale in this piece. If you look really closely at them, you'll notice all of them have unique patterns. Now, about halfway through Fantasia 2000, we get a classic throwback from Disney's original Fantasia. Introduced by magicians Penn and Teller this time around, we get the Sorcerer's Apprentice. This animation features Mickey Mouse, the magician Yensid, and the enchanted brooms. For me, there's something so nostalgic about watching it, and there's also something about the piece being less sensitive to today's societal norms or policing for animation that is just refreshing for me. This also goes for other animations in this film. Animations back in the day were just a little more abstract and it was okay to be less sensical. Now lastly, my favorite piece for Fantasia 2000 is the ballet piece by Igor Stravinsky called The Firebird. It also just so happens to be the final animation. All of the music and animations in Fantasia 2000 are beautiful, but this one resonates with me because of its use of symbolism. Ever since the age of 3, I have been attached to art, and for anyone who's never really dived headfirst into the world of art, art is just a ginormous world of symbolism and subjectivity. Now, the animators use an elk in this piece to bring to life a water goddess or nymph that in turn brings life to everything around it. And in different cultures throughout the world, elk and also deer are seen as symbols of good luck, protection, fertility, and even divinity. Water, as we know it, is also essential for life. The animators make this piece very emotionally moving with the death and rebirth of our little water goddess, especially as we have to watch her heal from her experiences and learn to flourish again as an individual. At one point or another, whether we want to or not, the circle of life is inevitably experienced by all of us, and this animation does a good job at reminding us that although life can be hard sometimes, it goes on, and with perhaps a shoulder to lean on, we too can continue on even if things aren't the same as before. To wrap everything up, since this is the first movie that I'm ranking this year, I'm placing Fantasia 2000 in the number 1 spot for now, and as the year goes on, we'll have to see if anything knocks it out of that place. Join me again in 5 days to find out which Disney animated film I'll be watching next, and where it ranks on my list. Until then, ta-ta for now.